to be able to watch this interview on their television. Clearly, it is still a big problem. Is it still a big problem, despite, you say, the progress that you say you've made?
We have not got to where we should be, and of course, you know, the power infrastructure is one investment that you must complete the chain before the bulb can light. You must generate, you must transmit, you must distribute. And even if you have the money and the political will to do so, you cannot do it overnight. And we're working very hard. And I promise you that before the end of this year, power will be reasonably stable in Nigeria. This is something that has been a problem for years. So you cannot correct it overnight. It takes time, even if you have the money.
I'm sure that will be a relief. Obviously, you do sit atop massive reserves of natural gas, and that leads me to the whole issue of corruption, which you say you're trying to tackle. And when people look at Nigeria and see all your wealth, they say, oh my goodness, this is a country that is stealing and bleeding itself dry. Even your own minister, your Minister of Finance, has talked about, you know, just this past April, perhaps 400,000 barrels of oil a day simply being stolen, simply disappearing without any account. One of your ministers has said that the level of theft from the country, from the government, amounts to about $7 billion a year. That's still a problem, isn't it?
In fact, when you talk about crude oil stealing, yes, I agree with you. Frankly speaking, we want the international community to support Nigeria, because this stolen crude is being bought by refineries abroad. And they know the crude oil was stolen. The world must condemn what is wrong. The stolen crude is refined abroad. It's not refined in Nigeria.
President Goodluck Jonathan, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
And the President tells me there has been some important progress since last time we spoke. He says the election system has been cleaned up, and he's right about that. International observers praised the 2011 election, calling them a big step forward for Africa's most populous country. But Nigeria remains a nation full of ironies. As we just said, it's rich in oil, but it rarely flows down to the people, except this way. Take a look. A river polluted by an oil spill is the playground for these kids in Nigeria's Delta region, and that is not the exception. And as we also said, Nigeria's oil pipelines are targeted by thieves who sell the precious crude and leave behind a toxic nightmare. After a break, we'll turn to the world's smallest state, the Vatican, and the priest who's ruffling some angelic feathers. We'll explain.